Good afternoon. I have been asked by a lot of my clients and friends, whatever happened to Friday Facts? Well, Friday Facts was a show that I used to do weekly that talked about real estate, life. I used to tell fun stories and tell you about what was going on in the Monterey Peninsula, and then somehow life got away with me and I stopped doing it. And so what I have decided to do is start a weekly show again on Fridays, but now we're calling it Real Estate Talk with Leslie DeLuca. And what I'm going to be talking about now is different things. Like, I wrote things down because it's been a while and I'm older now. But we'll talk about real estate stats on the Monterey Peninsula, as well as what's going on all across the country, what's going on right now in this crazy real estate market. I want to talk to you about what to be careful to look for, just the big picture thinking about real estate, because I know a lot of people right now are really, really desperate to get into a home, and they're doing all kinds of things that are not really in their best interest. So we want to talk about those kinds of things. We want to talk about why it's important to have a really good lender, why it's really good to have a team on your side. And I'm going to every week, I get all kinds of questions daily from realtors as well as clients, and so every week I'm going to answer some of the questions that I get from realtors as well as questions that I get from clients. So today I want to start out by talking to you about the stats on the Monterey Peninsula for April. And oh my gosh, it's nuts out there. Last week I showed, between Saturday and Sunday, I showed 27 homes. I wrote 5 offers. None of them got accepted. And people might go, oh, well, I guess you're a bad realtor. No, I'm not. What happens is we wrote really great offers over asking price with really great offers in terms, but each one of these offers had like 13 offers on them, or each one of these properties had like 13 offers on them. And many of these properties were trust properties. They were in trust. And so there are a lot of nuances that you need to know when you're writing offers. And one of the things that I've done is I wrote this it's just a white paper. It's a 1-page white paper, and it's 5 things that you need to know before you start shopping for a home. And if you want it, at the top of the screen it says that you can text "I want it" to 831-322-6080. If you want this white paper called "The 5 Things You Need to Know Before You Start Shopping for a Home," just text that number and I will have my team send you the PDF, and they'll just text you the PDF, and you can see what the 5 things are. It's just the 5 things that we have found are the most important things that you need to know before you start shopping for a home. And then it's really important that you do these things, because people are going out and they're shopping for a home unprepared, and they're becoming very, very disillusioned. So if you want that white paper, just text "I want it" to that number at the top of the screen, and I'll get my team to get it out to you. They'll just shoot you over. They'll text you back that PDF. So the stats on the Monterey Peninsula, and I just kind of combined all of the stats on the Monterey Peninsula to give to you. Now, if you would like to have the stats on the Monterey Peninsula for April and all of the different areas, you can also text the phone number at the top of the screen and just let me know which cities that you'd like to have on the stats and neighborhoods and everything, because I can also send you those, because those PDFs are ready too. But just in the interest of time, I don't want to bore everybody, because I love stats, but a lot of people don't like stats. But I just wanted to tell you how many sold properties that we have in the month of April. Now, of course, This is not all encompassing because today is the last day of April and we will have more, but so just to be very transparent, this is as of an hour ago what has sold in the month of April. Monterey, Pacific Grove, Pebble Beach, Carmel, Prunedale, just on the Monterey Peninsula. This is not the whole county. So there were 237 sold properties in the month of April, and the average days on the market is 29, which can seem a little bit odd because really what's happening is properties are going on the market, and once properties go on the market, a lot of them are going on the market like today, and they'll say that all offers are due by Monday at 5 o'clock. And so on Monday at 5 o'clock, they're looking at all of the offers and they're accepting the offers. Now, once those offers are in on Monday, you're probably not going to get the opportunity to counter. So that's what you have to understand as well, which is in that manual, or that one pager that I did, the 5 things you need to know before shopping for a home. I give you tips on how to write an offer. So if you want that, that's in that you can text me for. So anyway, average days on the market 29. Don't let that fool you, because the houses that are lasting that long right now are not priced right. They're really not lasting that long. The maximum sales price in April was $17,333,000. So that's another thing, is the market is crazy at the high end and the low end. So you can have, I've shown properties that are $3.5 million and they still have multiple offers over asking price. And again, if you would like to see that printout of all the houses, the 237 properties that sold this month and what they were listed for and what they sold for, unbelievable. But most of them sold over asking price, and you can see just how much, which I have that stat too, which I'll tell you in a minute. The median sales price is $850,000. Now, don't let that fool you either, because that includes the whole, all of the cities. So why that number might be different as median sales price, because I'm including Seaside, Pacific Grove, Carmel, Marina, Salinas, and so we have all of those numbers. So while the average sales price in Carmel might be $2.5 million, the average sales price in Salinas is not. So when I say average sale price, that's the average sales price on the peninsula and the Salinas Valley. So don't let that fool you either. So what I'm saying is this is encompassing all of my cities that I service. The list to sale price is 101%. So what that means is when the properties are listed at a certain price, they're selling for 101% over asking price. So they're not, there's no wiggle room right now. If a property is listed at a certain price, you have to go at asking price or above. You cannot go under asking price right now. You just cannot do it. So if you are seriously wanting to purchase a home and you seriously want to be in the game, you can't go under asking price, because you will not be successful. Just know that. And this has been holding steady really since January. In January, the list to sale price was 100.3%. In February, it went down to about 95%, and this month it's been 101%. So as you can see, it's really holding steady right now. Why? Lack of inventory, which we'll talk about in a little while, what the lack of inventory means, what's happening with that, and all of that. So, in saying that, I did want to show you this funny video that is on TikTok, which has I couldn't get it uploaded, but it shows this guy saying I have this apple here and it's for sale, and they're going, oh, I want it, and I want it more, and I want it more. But people are just bidding anything and everything on these homes, and they're not even looking at the disclosures. And that might be a broad statement for me to say, or it might not be fair, but the reason I'm saying this is the reason. So what just happened to me yesterday is clients of mine had an offer in on a property in Prunedale. It was on an acre and it's an older home that needed a lot of work, and it was in a trust. And they really, really liked it, and they really wanted it. Had quite a few offers, and our offer came in second to a cash offer. And then the listing agent called me yesterday and said that their deal fell apart during the inspection period, and not because of any fault of the property, but the buyer backed out. And so I called my client, and we had gotten some disclosures before when we made the offer, but of course now, since they're in escrow, they had more disclosures. So I asked for the disclosures and we looked at them. And we had, of course, offered over asking price, and there was an appraisal in the packet, and it had appraised for more than we offered, actually. So now we have more disclosures. And so before I sent the disclosures to my client, I looked them over, as I usually do. Now, as a real estate agent, I am not allowed to make comments on any disclosures or any inspections because I'm not licensed to do so, but I am allowed to point out things that they should be aware of or that they should take a look at. Well, these disclosures clearly had disclosure from the seller that there had been water intrusion on the property, and they used the word mold, which we can't use, but they said that there's mold, and they said there are holes in the siding, and they had indicated things that are very important to look at as a buyer, because they could be very dangerous, they could be very costly. And so when I sent those to my client, I said, I want you to pay particular attention to these disclosures that that indicate the water intrusion and the TDS, which is the transfer disclosure statement, that the seller discloses things that they know of the property, is all the material facts they know. I want you to pay particular attention to what they said. Well, because even the testing for mold is not inexpensive. So when you are in contract on a property and you conduct these inspections, it costs the buyer money. Should you find things that you don't like, and then the seller will not comply with a credit or remediation, now you're out this money and then you don't buy the property. So you really, really have to be thoughtful before you dive into these things. And I always try to get my clients to think financially and think like a business rather than emotionally, because you can always find another property to buy, right? You always can. And so you want to really look at things from a logical level. And so, that's something that I really wanted to talk about today, is be very, very, very aware of the disclosures and the way the property looks, and what you're going to have to spend to get the property to a condition that's going to make you happy. And don't settle because you're emotional about wanting to buy anything. that's if I can't give you anything else to leave with today, that's the one thing that I want people to understand, is be very, very careful about inspections. Never go with inspections that are already given to you by a seller. Get your own inspections. If you decide not to get your own inspections, look at those inspections, and if they say that you should get look further into it, get a contractor over there. Get somebody over there to make sure before you go spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not in my best interest to tell you that, because I'm supposed to sell you the house, but it's in your best interest before you buy the house to do that. And I will always tell you to do that. Don't get crazy about the market. Think about your future. Think about the big picture. Always. Let's see, what else? Let's see. That's really the biggest thing is, know the area that you're going to buy in. Pay attention to the neighborhood. I always tell my clients this: whenever you want to buy a property, call the police department in the area, give that address, and ask the police if there have been any incidents in that neighborhood in the past few years. Because you also want to make sure you're not buying a house next to crazy neighbors, right? You need to just really thoroughly check out all aspects of the property. First-time home buyers a lot of times don't think about that. They're so excited they don't think about all those things, but you do need to think about all of that. It's big picture thinking. Zillow. So anyway, that's what I want to tell you. Market's crazy. It's crazy. But my 5 things to do before you start shopping for a home is going to give you the 5 most important things you need to do with lending, with how to write offers, with how to look for properties. Really great stuff. And I'm happy to share it with you. I give it to all of my clients. And all you have to do is text me, I want it, and you got it. What else? Okay, so I wanted to show you something here. Some things. Everybody's also worried about are we in a housing bubble? We're not. Let me show you something. So right now, American home equity is skyrocketing. Okay, let me put this up here. The average gain in equity of mortgaged homes has been $26,300. The current average equity people have in homes is $204,000, and about 38% of the homes in the United States are owned free and clear. And there's been a 16.2% increase in equity, totaling over $1.5 trillion. So here's the thing. We are not going to have a housing bubble like we had in 2006. Everybody's thinking, let me get this out of my face. But the thing is, back in 2006, people were just spending stupid money and getting these crazy loans. Right now, most homes in America, people have this kind of equity. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but most people have at least $200,000 worth of equity in their homes. Even if they can't afford to pay for them anymore because the economy tanks, they are not likely to go into foreclosure. They're more likely to sell them, and so we're not going to have this housing bubble where people are going into foreclosure. And in the United States, there's been a $26,000 gain in equity, and there's 38% of the houses in America, people don't owe any money on them. So that's a misnomer. The other thing I wanted to show you is that the residential real estate market's on its biggest tear since 2006. Now, that was just before the housing bubble burst and set off a global recession. But in nearly every meaningful way, today's market, like I was telling you, is the inverse of the previous boom. Because in the mid-2000s, there were loose mortgages, the standards. It was nuts back then. It was crazy. I lived it. People with poor credit histories, people with no money, people with ridiculous jobs were getting homes that they could not afford. They were way beyond their means, and these mortgages were, had really low mortgages that were going to triple with mortgages per month, which were 3 times what these people made. That's not happening anymore. And so now we have a demand for homes that's outpacing new listings, right? The buyer competition is continuing to intensify, and on average, there are 4 offers per home for every home that closed in February. Now, that's nationally. It's been even crazier than that. One of my friends had 70 offers on a home in California, but here in our area, there's 13 offers, 9 offers, 5 offers. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much buyer demand right now. But according to NAR, this is February, because we're still getting like February reporting. The Confidence Index report is a monthly survey of the realtors about their transactions. So one year ago, there were 2 or 3 buyers for every home sold. Now the intense competition has led to double-digit price growth and property selling in record time. To get back to a healthy supply, listen to this. This will blow you away. To get back to a healthy supply level equivalent to 6 months of monthly demand, which is what a healthy market is, we need an additional 2.7 million homes to be on the market for sale. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. Unbelievable. So we need 2.7 million more homes on the market to get 6 months of inventory. Yeah, that's what we need. Okay, let's see what else. So this is just showing you the average number of offers received on the most recent closed sales, which I told you it's more. I just thought these were interesting. So the annual home price appreciation, if you look at this, so this is the average annual appreciation is, in like 2005 is 11.4%, but this was not healthy. Right now in 2020, 9.2% a year is the average annual appreciation. That's pretty darn good. So that's that. And okay, the default risk in the mortgage market. This is interesting too, because let's see, if you look at, here's 2008 when things were really bad. So the product risk, right, was way up here, and the borrower risk was here. So you had really bad lending products, and then it got better. Here's, it still wasn't too good here, but here's how it is right now. And so the borrower risk is way down here, because as you all know, getting a mortgage is not easy. You have to have good credit, good income. So the risk for defaults in the mortgage industry is not that great. So mortgage, I showed you this already. This is a great indication of where we're at. So that is my first reunion with the old Friday Facts, which is now called Real Estate Talk with Leslie DeLuca. The inaugural 20 minutes, I think I went over today. I went over a little bit. 20 minutes every Friday, Real Estate Facts with Leslie DeLuca. Just if you want your 5 things that you need to know before shopping for a home, just text I want it to 831-322 6080. My team will get it right out to you. If you'd like a 15-minute strategy session on where you're at in the real estate world, you can direct message me. I'm happy to set that up for you. We could do it by Zoom. And as always, direct message me any questions you have, and look out for me every day on the Daily DeLuca. Have a great weekend, and I will see you. It's a beautiful day. I'll see you out there in the sunshine.